Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Drummers Weekly Workout. And today we're going to discuss playing 6/8 or 12/8 grooves with the brushes. So all of this got started for me about a year ago when I started doing these gigs with a group that specializes in doo-wop music. And that's music from the late 50s, early 60s. Such as the Platters, Deanna and the Belmonts, etc. And those groups, there's a lot of 12 and 6/8 grooves in there. So with sticks, those grooves sound like this. Alright, so that's easy enough. We all know that groove, we've all played it before. But on a lot of these gigs, because of sound requirements, and most especially here in New York City, space, a lot of those gigs I'm only allowed to bring just a snare drum and brushes. So how do I get the sound of the hi-hat, the bass drum, and the snare drum, obviously, with all of that, with just the brushes? So what I did first was try to imitate exactly what I was doing on the snare drum and hi-hat with my hands, and just move that to the snare drum. So this was the first thing that I did. That worked, but I felt like I needed more sustain, like I needed to fill up the sound a little bit more. So in order to do that, I let my left hand sweep a little bit. So the second thing that I did was this. Okay, so get the sustain a little bit, but every time I picked up my left hand to play the backbeat, the sustain went away. So the next thing that I did is I played the exact same thing, but I played the backbeat with my right hand and just let my left hand keep going in circles to maintain that sustained note. All right, so alright, so as you can see, I'm doing an accent on 1 and on 4. Now the accent on 1 is very, very slight, alright? So that mimics the sound of the bass drum playing on beat 1. And then I do a bigger accent on beat 4. So the accents kind of sound like this. Alright, now if you add the other eighth notes in there, okay? Alright, in the left hand, all it's doing is just going in time in a circle. So every 3 beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. So another way that you could play this is alternating between the hands. Alright, so that means the backbeat will end up on beat 4 if you're starting with beat 1 in the right hand. So like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, and you can see both hands are kind of moving in a circular pattern. It's almost like a dog paddle in a way. Maybe a sideways dog paddle, since I'm going to this side instead of in front. But either way that you do it, it works out really, really well. It sounds nice. You got the sustain, and you know it really fills up the sound for the rest of the band, even though all you have is a snare drum. So then if you just want to change the texture, if you have a full kit, but just want to change the texture of a different song, say you're doing a couple 12/8 tunes in a row, then when you add the bass drum and hi-hat, I put the bass drum on 1 and 3, and then I put the hi-hat, or excuse me, put the bass drum on beat 1, and then I put the hi-hat on 4 to help out with the backbeat, and it sounds like this. Okay, so mess around with that, see how you like it. Come up with your own patterns, something that works for you. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.